So,
Hmm.
okay, so
So that was the
you've
first
gone up.
piece.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Then through that work, the next step was I was working at a gym that was targeted to or had mostly mature clientele,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to offer a course for women to get healthier. And so they offered me the life coaching piece. And of course, I said yes. It was a new learning opportunity.
Sure.
Then there was training for it. They offered to, okay, you can train to become a life coach. So I decided to become an American College of Exercise certified health coach.
Mm.
And through that piece, it was learning about exercise and diet and appropriate movement and everything else. And so and life skills, behavioral modifications, and that's the piece, really important part of my story. Symptoms, root cause, f- figuring out what the root cause of an issue is has always been more attractive to me,
Mm-hmm.
investigative, to solve a problem rather than treating symptoms. I don't like band-aids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I took the life coach role, which was the behavioral modification aspect, to really dig into
Mm-hmm.
why are you eating the way you're eating. It doesn't matter. We can tell people this diet or this exercise regimen until we're blue in the face, but
Right.
why is it important for them? What do their bodies need? Why
Mm-hmm.
are they eating or choosing not to eat something? Why are they
Mm-hmm.
looking at your patterns and really figuring out for yourself what is healthy for yourself? That's why the last question I ask on my podcast is, what is your personal definition of what it means to be healthy, to get people
Right.
thinking like, I'm an individual, what works for me?
Yeah.
So that
And
was the second piece.
I'm hearing in that piece your, excuse me, your pathologist background, your general medical training, your ability to bring that level of analysis, that analytical mind to this space that, let's face it, can get a little woo woo, can get a
Mm-hmm.
little airy fairy,
Mm-hmm.
trust your heart when you go to the grocery store and buy all the things that bring you contentment. It's like, I don't know what that means. I'm going to just buy some Oreos and call it a day. I don't know what you're talking about. So I love your even as you describe that, the marrying of these pieces, and I think it's there in the name of Yogi MD. But you did move into this life coaching direction, and I
Mm-hmm.
did want to make sure that we talk a little bit about this specific piece of why I wanted you to be a guest here on Unstuck AF, which is that we decided to mutually coach. We decided to alternate back and forth, and
Mm-hmm.
there were some things you were working on, some things I was working on. I started out working on the fact that I needed to declutter. I'm a hoarder by nature. I've been fighting that, and your sister has been fighting it as well. Let's be honest. So so we're trying. I'm trying, but I had some things I needed to organize and get real about, and you were going to help coach me through that piece. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd like you to talk a little bit about the approach you took and the journey we took,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's a stellar example of how you've gone to this listening, non-judgmental,
Mm-hmm.
higher, in my opinion, level of doctoring that I'd like people to be in touch with.
So we started off, we took two passes at this. Remember, so the first
Mm-hmm.
time I was in California and you asked me to come to your office and help you declutter. And I'll never forget it because I remember sitting on the couch and watching you go through some cards and papers, and you looked so distressed.
Mm.
And I remember, especially the cards, you were showing me all these cards. And for your audience, I'm the anti hoarder. Okay. If something, I'll give you a very quick insight into that. My sister Daff and I, your lovely wife, were talking one time, and she said when she was pregnant with your kids, the
Yeah.
twins, my niece and nephew, she said that one of your friends asked her if our mom had kept Daphne's childhood crib. And
Right.
Daphne called me immediately to share this story. Orlando, we laughed for 5 minutes,
It's funny.
hard, crying. crying because this is how much like we were not raised in a hoarding household. If you,
Right, right,
it's no longer useful, give it away, give it to the Salvation Army, or throw it out,
right.
or organize it. I'm super organized, and I,
Yeah.
for my mental health and clarity, I can't do clutter. So, but I was so intrigued by your reaction. Like you were saving all kinds of cards, and I was like, "Wow, what's wrong with me? Because I didn't save all these." Wow. So we took a pass, but it felt
Mm-hmm.
like it felt like the band-aid.
Mm.
And then I remember after I left, you said, "Okay, I'd like for you to come back out and we can keep tackling this." And then the pandemic hit.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
then we buckled down and we're coaching each other, taking turns every week. And it became an opportunity for me to do the work I love and to
Mm.
just listen to you and walk through your whys, walk through the patterns, walk through what was behind the behavior.
There was an extra level of uh admiration and absolute frustration with you when
Mm
you would ask me these questions because you really were walking me into, but what's really going on?
hmm. Mm hmm.
What's really going on?
Mm hmm.
So I'm wondering, as you were doing that, what was driving that? Did you have a sense of where we were going to end up in the first place? And you were just sort of like helping me go there? Were you really sort of beside me walking and just sort of discovering it with me? What was your approach? What was your thinking?
Yes. I was in this with you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes a nurturer to do a wonderful job, to do right by the person,
Mm-hmm.
is to sit back and not interfere.
Mm. Mm.
It was so important for you to make your own discoveries and not for me. I have my own experiences. I have my own way of being. Those
Mm-hmm.
don't work for you.
Right. Right.
I could give you the top 10 tips, and you know I love saying this, Orlando, but I could have easily told you, Orlando, let's go to Home Depot, let's buy some bins,
Mm-hmm.
let's buy a label maker, and let's
Mm-hmm.
stack them in. I detest that approach.
Right.
You know, it's again, it's the band-aid, it's a prescription. It's handing out prescriptions
Absolutely.
too often. Yes, sometimes you need some help, but at the same time, so many things can be solved, especially from a behavioral standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
if you just stop and ask yourself why, because we are making choices all of the time.
Yes.